Occasion. I'm Darren with PPG Inspectors. I did your inspection today on the property. Congratulations, by the way. Right away, I'm going to start talking about some things, but let me prepare you. I always do a pre-game, so to speak. So there's no perfect properties. Even when it's a 2018 home, I always have my clients have a clear expectation. Of course, this home was built in the 1800s, late 1800s. So the expectation, you should have an expectation that it is 1800 home. They have done some updates as we're going, but just keep in mind that you may need a contractor to estimate certain things about the property. The main things about the house, though, the foundation, the plumbing, the electrical, and the roof does not need replacement. At the very most, those things just need a little bit of maintenance, a little bit of repair, but no replacement. So as far as that goes, your main components are in okay condition. Now, this is part of your exterior wall, and so this is something that's kind of consistent throughout the property. This is the worst place, though, where you can see where we have some issues. Now, this right here is just the wood paneling, right? And this is aesthetics. The thing that's really protecting your house from moisture is what's back here, which is the waterproof barrier right here that you can see. So every place where you can see this and the sun touch this has to be replaced. And so everywhere else, you're going to be able to see. You don't need to be a rocket science to see that this could take being replaced, but just understand it's not protecting your house from moisture. That barrier is.
And the condition of the barrier looks to be okay.
The thing is, once the sun hits it, it needs to be replaced. So the component, it cannot. The ultraviolet of the sun damages the water resistant components, because it is water resistant and it's not moisture. It's not waterproof. And so this as you go to repair this and take this off, you just remember that you may have to change this waterproof barrier in certain spots. Not an expensive task, but expensive if you ignore it, if you choose not to do it. The exterior wall, that's a, and by the way, we're going to discuss safety issues and big dollar issues. So I think the exterior wall is probably going to be a big expense. And then the vegetation. You have a lot of vegetation on the property. Of course, most people think it's beautiful. I even think it's beautiful. However, as an inspector, my recommendation is everything that's touching the property, get it at least 12 inches away from the house structure. Make sure nothing's overhanging on the roof. Show her that right there. Nothing is overhanging on the roof. And right here, come right here, Tamara. Mm-hmm. And so you can see how this panel right here, it needs to be replaced right here. But the vegetation, and this has a lot of character, by the way. However, it is leaning up against your exterior wall right here. And this little closet, this little laundry, this was placed later on. So you may want to take this away and not put it back, and then you can keep this right here. I don't know. But the vegetation just all around the property pretty much needs to be cut back. The porches are the next thing. This porch right here, and the front porch, the wood components does appear. I'm not a termite guy, so I can't say that it has termite damage. You're all going to have a termite report. So Andre, he could definitely, he's going to clear that up. But as far as the overall condition of it, it could use being replaced. The porch, this porch, and that porch in the front. All right. You have a couple of your drainage. So what I like to see is the house sloping away. I mean, the ground sloping away from the house. I like to see area drains, and I like to see roof gutters. You don't have roof gutters on the primary structure. And you don't have area drains. However, I didn't see any water threatening the structure, the actual living space. But it can't afford that always. We're going to recommend that. You have a chimney in both structures. I don't know whether to call it a granny flat, or I'm going to call it something in the report. I don't know yet. I'll probably call it a guest house, okay, because that's truly what it is. It has a kitchen, and it's 2-story. It doesn't have a bedroom, but I would still call it a guest house, even if it's not permitted. And by the way, even though I inspect properties, that I don't look for permits, but if it doesn't have permits, I can't fully approve it because I have no idea what was going on while they was building it. I just go off what I see when I'm here, and I can't look between walls. Now you have a chimney on both structures. One of them seemed to be covered. It seemed that they don't use it no more as a chimney.
I don't know if there's a cap on it or not.
Tom, did they cover that chimney completely up? Or?
Is there a cap on?
Well, that's just a, I think that's just a facade.
Just okay. That's what I would think. So just this one, so my board, we have to recommend chimney inspections. We can't see in the flue. I didn't see anything, any indication that if you don't do it, ooh, that's a bad decision. It's just that we have to recommend it. So if I put it in red, that means I seen something and I say, you know what, you need a chimney inspection. If I put it in blue, that means that, you know, get a chimney inspection, but I didn't see anything to warrant it. This one will be in blue, okay? Everything else is going to be kind of self-explanatory if you've seen the property, right? It's just the property could use some updates. You're going to see a lot of red in the report, a lot of writing, but I think the expectation has been set for you. If you've seen the property, you already know. I don't think anything else is going to alarm you. Congratulations once again on your purchase. And sorry I wasn't here to meet you in person.
So then, just to recap, you said foundation looked good.
Foundation was great.
And then, as far as the lead and the asbestos, what are your thoughts on that?
So lead. So Tamara did speak to me about lead, and you had concerns about lead, which you should. You're going to see it right up in the report regarding lead. Now, when it comes to a 1800 structure like this, so you have the guest house, which I really don't know how old it is. That structure is not 1800s structure. You can tell that structure is much newer. With that one, of course, it may contain lead, but in order to, so this structure, if I could probably pull one sample, it's going to cost $125 for that sample, and then I could pretty comfortably say whether that home has lead or not, because that home is a consistent structure. As far as the paint is consistent, every room is consistent. It looks like they did everything at the same time. So if when they painted that house on the inside and they used a paint that covers up lead, they did it consistently is what I'm saying. In this structure, the primary structure, every room is different. It looks like they did it in different times. So when I say different times, they may have updated the kitchen 30 years ago when it looks like they updated a bedroom 3 years ago. So it's too much time frame in between. So in this case, the only way I could confirm that it has no lead is to actually swab every single room in this house before I could actually sign off, which would be, to me, I wouldn't spend my money on it. It would be less expensive for you just to buy the paint that's going to cover lead up. It'll be less expensive than a test. So if you want to run the test, by all means, I can come back out here and run it and swab everything. But like I said, of course, it's going to be labor included if you get a paint that's going to cover the lead up. But still, that may be your best bet. You just consider what you want to do. And if I don't hear from you, I assume you're going to get the paint to cover it up.
And then for asbestos?
Asbestos. So you didn't have any acoustic ceilings, popcorn on none of the ceilings, which would typically contain asbestos in a house this old. You didn't have in your ducting that could have asbestos. When I say ducting, from your furnace, right, it goes into the attic. It's not asbestos containing. Now, on your exterior, a house like this roof does not appear like it's, well, I wasn't here, but I would venture to say it's no way it's the oldest house. It's just no way. And so older shingles was known to contain asbestos. So the possibility is there because we don't know when the roof was put on, but the possibility is very, very low. And so with that, I wouldn't have a concern about that. And then when it comes to exterior wall, you have some, come over and show the paneling right here. So this right here, what we see, this wasn't the original paneling. Under that shingle, that wood shingle, there's another layer of shingles that may contain asbestos. And it's going to look, it's no way to tell by looking at it if it contains asbestos or not. It has to be tested. I wouldn't think it is, but there's no way for me to know. And then we'll have to start tearing some stuff up in order to test it. And like I was telling Tamara, a lot of people are just not going to even know to test it, to tell you the truth, when it comes to exterior shingles. So with that, I wouldn't be overly concerned. I see your concern. I wouldn't be, and it's well placed, but I wouldn't be overly concerned about that. Now, with that, you would need the seller's permission to come and take off some walls and test it. But before I would do that, if you know your contractor, if you already know the contractor you're using, I would have a conversation with the contractor and let them know that, hey, the inspector say that it's a possibility because of the age of the home that it could be asbestos shingles being used under the wood paneling. Possible, but you don't know that for sure. And then get his thoughts on that, and then go from there. So if he says, oh no, I ran into this before and that's almost guaranteed to have asbestos, then you have it. Or if you say, nah, I'm not worried about that, and then you have it.
And the sewer line, those looked.
I'll say you did have 2 sewer lines, which is rare on a property. Very, very rare, because the city typically does not approve one resident to have 2 sewer lines because it's expensive. It's an expense for the city. But in your particular case, you did have one. So on the guest house, your sewer line is a cast iron sewer line. It's an older pipe. It's been there as long as the residents, I'm pretty sure. It was in relatively good condition for the age of the cast iron. Now the thing with cast iron, minerals grow inside the pipe, and so the pipe is not going to last forever. So as the minerals begin to grow, it will begin to close the pipe off. So right now the pipe is about it's about a good 3.5 inches, and it used to be 4. So it could close it up to 2 inches, and then it would need to be replaced. So right now you got about a good 1.5 inches before that happens. And years wise, I would say that might take another 30 to 40 years. Just depends on how frequently you're using the guest house. The primary has been replaced, so you have a ABS in the beginning of the pipe, and then it goes into clay. The actual condition of the pipe itself is in wonderful condition. However, the pipe has some blockage. The blockage is insignificant. It's not even a full 10% blockage. So it's not enough for me to recommend that you get it jetted right now. But I would say if after you do your remodel, to jet it after, because stuff is going to get in the sewer line during that process, and then jet the pipe after that before you put it on the market, I would say. And then you'll have a good product. You have a good sewer line that you're selling to the next person. And any other questions?
No, I don't think that's it.
My number is 714-715-4447. Once again, my name is Darren. Feel free to contact me at any time. I answer my phone pretty much always unless I'm under a house. And I stay up really late. So if you have any questions, give me a call. I do encourage you to read that entire report because you wasn't here for the summary. And it's important, if you have any questions or misunderstandings about anything, just call me directly and we can talk through it.
Your number one more time?
714-715-4447.
Awesome. Thank you, Darryl.